Hello, I'm Fast Lawyer. Today we're going to do a review for Stargaze VR. Stargaze VR is a game on the Steam store released November 20th, 2020 by developer Played with Fire. It's available for the HTC Vive, Valve Index, Oculus Rift, and Windows Mixed Reality. I can confirm it works perfectly fine on the Oculus Quest 2 using the Oculus Link cable. It normally retails for $20. It's currently on a release sale, 10% off. I did get a free Steam key through the Steam Creator Connect program to review this game. However, I actually had already played it on Viveport Infinity. It is free for Viveport Infinity subscribers, and in fact, I had already done a complete review. However, I felt it would only be fair to play the game fully on Steam and doing a new review just to cover the Steam version. And I'm glad I did that because the Steam version is different than the Viveport Infinity. On Viveport Infinity, I did experience a major bug that stopped my progress. Luckily, on the Steam version, I did not experience that bug, so be careful on Viveport Infinity. It is important to note that Stargaze VR is a game that I believe is targeted towards children, so I think this VR game is perfect for families with kids. However, if you're an adult gamer, this probably will not appeal to you. The game is a little too simple, although it is challenging on the later levels. Basically, in Stargaze VR, you're like this fantastical, magical astronomer and use this telescope to explore these different planets that have different themes on them. And you basically move this little knob around and you move it within the play area, and you just have to find the right spot in order to see the animation to discover like a new photo or new information that'll be written on your journal. In essence, Stargaze VR is a puzzle game with a very simple mechanic. However, it does get challenging in the later worlds. So it starts off pretty simple and it's perfectly suited for children. However, they'll probably need your help in the later levels because it's like one of those multi-step things where you have to find the right spot in several different areas and kind of link them together. So it does get quite complex. There are 6 worlds in total, along with an ultimate question at the end that I was not able to complete. It took me about 2 hours to get to the end and try for a little bit to solve the ultimate question. I would estimate it probably take most people 2 to 3 hours to beat the game. Stargaze VR is running on the Unity engine. On my RTX 3080, I was getting a steady 90 frames per second. I did not experience any performance issues whatsoever. You do have full locomotion, but there is no snap or smooth turning. However, most of the action happens right in front of you or to your side, so there really is no reason to reach around behind you or anything like that. As I mentioned earlier, the gameplay is simple, but I think it is well suited for children, although like I said, they might need help with the later levels. Now, the visual style though is absolutely perfect for the intended audience. There's little charming worlds here that are fun to discover. There are voiceovers as well, so there's a little story. However, I do wish kind of the story had kind of maintained a little more of a G rating. It's not bad, but I would call it PG just because some of the lines, I believe, are more of grown-up talk versus sticking with light-hearted storylines. It does get a little dark in some areas, but nothing too bad. Honestly, I think most kids will be fine with what's here. Now, I did experience a few bugs, and I should talk about them. One of them was game breaking. On the Viveport Infinity version, which I assume is the same version as the Steam version, so I don't know why there were differences, but there was a problem with the 4th world where I would try to find the right area and it would show the animation, but nothing would happen, and I would have to try repeatedly and it just wouldn't do the animation properly to get me to the next part of the puzzle. However, when I tried it on Steam, I had no issues whatsoever. I did also experience another bug. This one was the Steam version as well, where my save progress was not saved. I was not happy about that, but I only experienced that once, and I did start and stop gameplay several times, so I would say this is a bug that you need to be aware of, but one that you'll probably will not come across. You can finish the whole game in one sitting as well. Finally, I do want to mention that there was kind of like a hitbox registration issue. Like I mentioned, this game, you're moving the knob and you're trying to find the right spot for the proper animation. And there were several times where I did find the right spot, but it was just a little clunky and it just didn't want to give. And a photo would print and I would try to put it in the book in the proper place, and it would look like the animation was taking the photo, but it didn't, and I would have to retake the photo. So overall, the game could use a bit of polish to make it a smoother experience. I did like the music for this game. Again, I think the music here is appropriate for children, and unlike a lot of games in VR, the soundtrack here was actually enjoyable, and there was variety with the soundtrack. So this game is kind of expensive given the amount of content there is. Like I said, you can finish the game in 2 to 3 hours. However, there are some high production values, not just in the music score, but again, there's some voiceovers as well. There's a nice little story, and it's not just using the telescope to move around the knob to find different parts of the different theme worlds, but you also have your little journal with all the little information there, and then there's the little worlds to your side, and then the ultimate question, which I have no idea how to solve. If anyone out there knows, please leave a comment here. Let me know how to finish that. It's kind of frustrating. I want to say I spent a good 15 minutes on that and I got zero progress on it. I have no idea how to solve it. Anyways, if I have to score Stargaze VR, I would give it a solid 6 out of 10. Definitely this game wasn't geared for me. So me personally, I did enjoy parts of it, but overall, it really wasn't my cup of tea, and I wouldn't recommend it for adult gamers like myself who like hardcore gaming. But again, if you have a family with kids, if you have children who play VR, I think this would be perfect. It's a nice family-friendly game overall. I kind of wish the story had stayed more on the G-rated side of things, but like I said, it's not too bad. It's just some of the themes get maybe a little dark, but nothing awful, and I think it'll be perfectly suitable for most children, although it does get quite challenging towards the end of the levels. At least it was challenging for me more than I thought it would be for such a simple mechanic. Anyways, I'm Fast Lawyer. If you liked my review, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, please have a wonderful day. Goodbye.
The Tree Planet. A desertified lump of sand and dry rot with only a tenuous claim to life.